Then lastly, about this wit, about the way you answer, your personality, how you present yourself as you are, and you cannot hide anything. I will just the questions. The board used to the board is very good, taking interviews differently, and they gave many new ways. They came up with many new ways to take interviews. Like they will ask to take some cheat from one cheat box, and they will ask to comment on the sentence written on that cheat. For me, it was justice in fairness. So they asked me to comment on justice is fairness. How you will be fair when you will become a bureaucrat. Then they asked what you will do if you are in a law and order situation. Then they asked me, what do you think about female labor in agriculture, as you are an agriculture graduate. So these things I had never thought of. I mean, I just prepared whatever was available. I just thought on the traditional lines. But when some question like this come to you, then what you have to answer is consistent to your thought process. So there was no inconsistency in the answer. Whatever I told there was not something unreasonable. I could justify it on that. The last question that the panel asked was that our questions are over. Now we expect that you ask a question to us. Now that's a bouncer. Answering such questions is very difficult, and you should not be caught you should not tempted to ask, sir, what are my marks and how do you feel I should get selected, because if you ask it, that is your personality. I mean, if somebody asks it, it's not his fault, because that is his personality. He will first think of his marks. What came to my mind is, I asked, sir, I am going to enter the civil services as a civil servant, as a new civil servant, what will be your advice to me? And then the panel gave me advices, and with this I will end. This is advice, not I took it not for the interview or for civil servants only, but as a general human being, as a aspiring young citizen of the country. I think this advice is quite useful. They said that there are 5 things that you should always keep in mind. The first thing is, you should have compassion for the people. Compassion is something more than sympathy. Something more than sympathy combined with passion. You are sympathetic to somebody, you care for the people, and at the same time you have a wish, a passion to improve upon them, to bring them out of that situation. If people are poor, you feel sympathetic. There it does not end. It goes further and says that you want to bring them out. The second thing they told is, you should have conviction. That is, you should be convinced about why I am doing this. You should have arrived at your decision after a due process of thought, after taking into consideration everything, and once you are convinced, you should be firm on your you should hold your guns, should be firm on your stand, and that holds true even for the interview. You should be convinced what you are saying, and you should be able to justify. The third thing they told is, you should have commitment. You are convinced about a principle, you should be committed to that. What is commitment? Commitment is, you should pledge yourself to that thing, and you should be ready to work for that wholeheartedly. The fourth thing they told is, you should have courage. That means you should be able to confront uncertainty, fear, risk, and that shows your mettle. So that courage is very important. If you take the entire process of civil services, after failure, still people continue to appear for the examination. They are motivated enough, they write the examination, digest the failures, and go for examination again. After the result of interview, there are hardly 10 days or 12 days left for the next prelim. People digest that failure, sit again, study, appear for the prelim, and get selected. So that is something, there is something called as courage. You need courage for sitting examination again just after the immediate failure. An entire year is gone, one whole cycle of examination is gone, and you have to appear for the examination again. And the last thing that told me was, you should have competence. You should be able to do things. You should know what you are doing. You should know each and every screw of the machine you are handling. So these 5 things, that is compassion, conviction, commitment, courage, and competence, is what a young aspiring Indian should have for the betterment of this country, and also for the aspirant of civil services who want to join this great service. Thank you very much.